I'm Mr. MegaManFan. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. You know all the things to do. And this is a Bluetooth controller I bought for $10 called the Amazon Luna. Now, if you've never heard of Luna before, you're not the only one because I hadn't heard of this either. But apparently, Luna is a competitor to the Xbox Game Pass and Google Stadia in offering streaming gaming on different platforms. Only unlike Stadia, Luna is still around and it's available in the United States. But what's interesting to me is this controller, it comes, I guess, with your Luna subscription, is also able to be used with things other than Amazon Luna. As you can see on screen, it's as simple as holding two buttons until the center LED flashes white, and then it's in Bluetooth pairing mode. Now, I've already paired it to my iPhone, but I can't record myself playing my iPhone now, can I? So I'll switch to screen capture and show you how this works. We're starting off with a game I really like called Downwell, and if it was possible to play this with the backbone, I would, but unfortunately, the game only orients vertically, not horizontally, so if you put a backbone on your phone, the controls do work, but you're holding it the wrong way to play. That makes being able to pair any Bluetooth controller with your phone a godsend, because then you can just lay the phone down in front of you or set it in a stand and use the controller to play this game with it in the correct orientation and the controller in the correct orientation in your hands. Everything matches up the way it's supposed to. So, I gotta say the Amazon Luna controller feels really nice in my hands. There's a good weight and heft to it. It's not too heavy. It's comparable to a Switch Pro controller. Wouldn't call it heavier than that, but it doesn't feel so heavy that your hands would get tired from holding it after a while. The analog sticks feel nice, the control buttons feel nice. The D-pad is slightly stiff compared to some other controllers you may be used to. It's not burdensome, but it's noticeable. I got used to it over time, but if you like a soft D-pad, it's not for you. And if you like a mushy D-pad, what's wrong with you, man? But seriously, no, this one is pretty tight. You're going to push down a little harder on the D-pad than you normally would. But for some games, that might actually be preferable. Like, I could see you wanting really tight D-pad controls on a Metroidvania so that you're not accidentally pressing in a diagonal that you don't want to go. I don't know if this would pass the famous Contra test that Russ from Retro Game Core likes to do, but for me, it's fine. Case in point, I have my own version of the Contra test, and it's called the Cutman stage of Mega Man 1. And if I can defeat the boss with no power-ups on a first run through the game with any controller, I consider it a good controller. In fact, I did the exact same test with the Mega Man handheld that I picked up recently, the arcade 1-up that has Mega Man 1 through 6, and I actually consider playing it this way on my iPhone with the Amazon Luna controller better than that. Well, there's the obvious reasons that it's better. If you're using the Delta emulator, you have save states. The Mega Man handheld doesn't have that. The screen is a little brighter and a little better than the handheld from Arcade 1-Up, but that's to be expected. It's an expensive iPhone after all. Well, maybe not too expensive if you're financing it or you get a free upgrade, but you know what I'm saying. iPhones aren't cheap, so their screen quality should be better than a cheap $40 handheld. But what really seals the deal for me with this version, playing it with Amazon Luna, is that the controls feel really, really tight. Even with that stiff D-pad, this feels way better than playing it with the D-pad on the Arcade 1-Up. My performance is so much better, it's almost even hard to quantify it, but I just feel like I'm making the moves I want to make when I want to make them, and if I get hit, it's my own fault and not anybody else's. And the Cutman boss fight, well, I like to start there anyway because you can start with any boss you like, but there's always a progression system in the Mega Man games with one boss being the weakest to the other bosses, and for me, Cutman has always been the easy starting point on Mega Man 1 because I know I can beat him without another boss's weapon, and then I can use his weapon on anybody else. So that to me has been my preferred order, but I'm not telling you what order to do it in. All I'm saying is this boss fight was not a problem using the Amazon Luna controller, and I was very pleased with that. So my bottom line here is the Amazon Luna is a perfectly good Bluetooth controller for $10. You can use it with anything you can pair Bluetooth with, like a Steam Deck or an iPhone or a tablet. I think it's a great option, especially if you get it cheap. If you had to spend more than $10, maybe you'd go with something a little better, but for a bargain bin, if you find one at the thrift store, I'd say give this controller a shot.